half already. And referee Tim Roby has already had to send off Anthony England of the Dewsbury Rams. So the Rams with it all to do in the second half to maintain their recent dominance over the Batley Bulldogs. The last time Batley won here was Easter 2008, when they were 29 points to 16 victors. Kevin King getting a try and 4 goals on that occasion. There's Dewsbury in possession, and here's Luke Menzies driving the ball back, another former Batley man, Menzies. And Brook Broughton now, not to be confused with Broughton Brook, which apparently is a place near Wagga Wagga in New South Wales.
Every day's a school day with you, Bill.
It's a dangerous thing, the internet. I thought I was looking up Brook Broughton and I found I was researching a village in New South Wales. Here's Menzies again, just over the halfway line. And what's Dewsbury's approach going to be in this second half? Down to 12 men. Rod Studd on the sidelines will probably be able to shed more light on that. He's been in touch with both dressing rooms. Let's hear from Rod now.
Well, I've heard most things, Bill, in my time, but I haven't heard something that I've heard from Carl Harris since he came out. I can't remember what I said in the team talk. I was ranting and raving that much. Suffice to say that I think he was still pretty incensed by the fact that they didn't get that ball up in the air just before kick-off, before the end of the first half, you recall. Talking to Warren Jowett, he still believes they're in this game, Bill. He just wants them to stick to the game plan, stick to things, keep it tight, don't give any silly penalties away, don't make any mistakes. And the longer they can keep this gap at just 4 points, he believes they're still in it. Talking to the referees and the fourth official, just to confirm the sending off, Anthony England sent off for landing several punches to the head. Warren Jowett thought that was harsh. Back to you, Bill.
Danny Morn, Campbell was in support, but Rob Spicer back to make the tackle. Not surprising that Rob Spicer is a former Dewsbury Rams Player of the Year with that sort of wholehearted commitment to the cause, but it might not be enough. And again, what a great shot that was. And it was Wainwright, I think, on a man much bigger than he, and it was a big tackle from Michael Wainwright to think it was on Sean Hesketh.
Well, this is tremendous inside defence. That often catches those slower, bigger players just clocking off. And Michael Wainwright just slams that door shut. And with Warren Jowett, if Dewsbury can keep hold of the ball, keep things tight and deny Batley, you think that their frustration might boil over, although Batley have the ball. Was there a knock-up? No, Batley, I think they were chancing around there.
He's given head and feet to Dewsbury Rams, in fact, reversing the initial decision. And the tackle from Wainwright were rewarded justifiably.
Well, it's just those little things like Wainwright. He didn't stop moving. You see that the gap was opening up. Players were moving away from him. He had to close that gap. And that was just a big shot on what is a big man, Sean Hesketh.
Andy Smith plays that ball. Had a time out of the game, Andy Smith. Played for the small amateur side for a while, and then just gradually got a liking back for the game. Here's Brook Broughton.
Well, you just saw Brook Broughton. He's a strong running forward, Brook.
Little chip kick ahead from Brambani. It's a lovely one. Then another kick ahead from Pat Walker. Great work from Walker. Still keeping it alive. Smith couldn't take it, and it's Alex Brown who swoops on it and could bring it back for the Batley Bulldogs. But what great work that was from Pat Walker.
Well, that was a sign of a confidence side. That was a tremendous play from Dewsbury. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get over Batley's try line, but that will definitely lift the confidence.
Here's Tootill, one of the try scorers for the Batley Bulldogs, who are coming forward but facing some determined defence. And Hesketh, that's a good run from the former York man, looks for the penalty. Walton gets the ball away for Flanagan, and Flanagan escapes the clutches of Walker. He's hounded down, but still manages to get to his feet, and still going Flanagan, still going. Eventually he's tackled 10 metres out, but this could be costly for the Dewsbury Rams now. They're backpedaling as Hanforth puts the kick in, and it's just too strong for Alex Brown.
Well, that was a tremendous run from George Flanagan. Like a rubber ball, he kept his feet, kept his legs pumping. He has no desire to go down. Get away from me, keep going. And Paul Hanford puts a delicate little chip in to the place where he expects Alex Brown to be.
Here's Hesketh. That looked high from Hesketh.
That looked a good shot, that, from Sean Hesketh. He come out the line from C defender. That could have been a penalty.
Hesketh is pumped up. And that is one shot too many.
Well, he got carried away. Come up with a fantastic shot. He shot from the line, but then he stuck his arm out on that occasion. He gave the penalty away. Well, there you go. Look at that. He's got that into him. He's got the confidence from that tackle. And then it's the next time, look at it, Rob Spicer changes the angle. He just goes straight over the shoulder, clocks him round the head. Spicer get up. Thank you very much, Sean. We'll have the penalty.
Well, Hesketh has had a warning. So we might see the sides evened up if that continues. Sean Hesketh just being told to maybe turn it down a notch or two. It's Elliot Cosgrove. Plays the ball, standing first half from him. Lockwood lays the ball off to Brambani. Brambani, little change of direction and a try from the Dewsbury Rams captain. And they're not out of this game, not by a long shot. And Warren Jowett salutes the courage and commitment of his side. And the captain showing the way to the try line there. And Batley Bulldogs paying the price for their indiscipline.
Well, Sean Hesketh, he's come out to intimidate the opposition in this second half. There's the penalty on Rob Spicer, too high. But this will lift the confidence of Dewsbury. Look at Brambine, he's got options inside and outside. He can hit the lead runners. Oh no, I will take you on myself. This is good play from Dewsbury. Warren Jowett will be very happy. Sean Hesketh it was who clocked up on the inside, and he just couldn't prevent Brambani from scoring that try for Dewsbury.
Fifth try of the campaign for Dominic Brambani. Looking for his 51st goal of the season with this. On targets. And Dewsbury go back in front, 14-12.
I like what Andy Smith does here. He gets a right clout, he gets up, plays the ball. Spicer gets another clout. He gets up, he plays the ball, gets ready for the next attack. And sometimes the mental toughness of sides is defined by how much they can take, not how hard they can hit, how hard they can be hit and come back for more.
Chris Lythe in at the tackle for Batley. Here goes Luke Blake, his opposite number. Pat Walker there, that ball has squirted out the back door. It was a knock-on, says the referee. He'll bring him back, head and feed for Batley, and the referee deaf to the pleas from Dominic Brambani that one had been stolen, just like a previous one, but it looks as though this time it was Dewsbury's to lose, and they did lose it. So head and feed to Batley. Have they got an instant response to that try? Well, Campbell has gone down.
Could have been an obstruction from Alex Brown, sorry.
Is Lythe, now Brown. He's stopped just short. Chris Lythe pointing one way and going to where there's acres of space now, but Priest puts the brakes on. Walton very nearly causing an obstruction. Carl Harrison not impressed with the tangle his side got into there. What sort of attempt are they going to come up with here? It's with Bretherton now, and Bretherton driven back. That's the fifth tackle. Going down the short side, and the ball goes to ground. Now then, did it go to ground off Wainwright, or did Brown put it down? No, it's the turnover. And Batley squander another opportunity.
This just shows how hard Dewsbury are working for each other. Brown just couldn't take this ball, but the amount of time that they have 2 and 3 players in the tackle, Dewsbury. They're just turning up, they keep working, they keep pushing, they keep talking the inside defenders. It's a good display by Warren Jowett's men, especially on the try line.
I made the point just before half-time, Tez. Warren Jowett has to be smart, has to be cute with the way he rotates the big fellas. Bibb, Menzies, Hurst. He needs to be smart with those blokes.
Here is Wainwright now, taking on Danny Morn. Johnny Horton. Now it's with James Lockwood, a try scorer on Sky Sports. In fact, last time out, last time they're on Sky, Dewsbury, that memorable match at Hunslet. He's got 3 tries in the last 3 games as James Lockwood. That kick too strong from Don Brambani.
Just bounced the wrong way in terms of the Dewsbury mentality. Here's Alex Brown
taking on Wainwright. Wainwright standing his ground and making the tackle.
He's lost that ball, Alex Brown. Fortunate to get away with it. Retty now trying to take his team forward. There you can see Brown, there's the little fumble.
Good spot right in front of the touch judge, you'd have to say. Potter. Now Chris Lythe.
No, that's where they can't get loose. They can't get loose around the ruck, which is around the play of the ball.
Here is Hanforth. Lindsay trying to wrestle his way free from the clutches of Johnny Horton, but Horton just did enough, assisted by Spicer. Now he's Hanforth, little grubber kick this time. Brambani's into all sorts of trouble, and the try pops up for Dane Manning, I think. It's rewarded instantly by the referee. And Dane Manning was there to capitalise on the error from Don Brambani, who couldn't deal with that ball. He just gets 1 or 2 consoling pats from his teammates. And the former Leeds player, played Super League, 1 appearance for the Rhinos, Dane Manning, came here via Featherstone, was there to capitalise.
Well, it's a cruel game. The kick from Hanforth, and Dominic Brambani thought he had that ball, but it just bounces out. But Dane Manning put himself in the right place at the right time. You can see just a little fumble from Brambani, but that's all it takes for Dane Manning to go in for the Batley Bulldogs.
Paul Hanforth then, as the lead changes hands again. Very experienced player, 29 years of age now, Paul Hanforth. This to extend the Dogs' lead, which he does. And the try from Manning, the conversion from Hanforth. And the Bulldogs are ahead again. It's Dewsbury 14, Batley 18. Let's go down to the sidelines and Rod Studd.
Well, we've seen a few inspired substitutions over the years, Bill, from Jose Mourinho and the like. What about that from Carl Harrison? Just confirmed to me that Dane Manning had been on the field 5 seconds when he scored. Great substitution for the Bulldogs boss.
Saw it coming. So then, can the Rams respond once again?
I was watching the Dewsbury side while that kick was being lined up. They were together, they were tight, they were in a huddle. I don't think the Rams at this point are ready to give this game away. Tremendous stuff.
It's a mean game, this. We've got 2 of the meanest defences in the competition, in fact, here. Is that a 40-20 attempt? It is, and Buchanan just manages to get back and defuse it. And even better, he's got support from Scott Turner to tidy up the loose ball, but it's still going to end up as a goal line dropout. No, it's not. It's going to be a penalty.
Well, that's tremendous work from Dewsbury. Outstanding work from winger and fullback. Austin Buchanan gets it back on the island. The fullback in perfect position, forcing Dewsbury. Batley forcing Dewsbury over the line illegally.
Well, Dewsbury's defence has been outstanding so far this season. 13 tries conceded, that's all in 4 games so far. Bulldogs, 14 in 5 games for them. So neither side has been particularly generous. And it's that Dewsbury defence that's going to have to be at its very best in the remainder of this game now. They trail here but they're certainly still very much in this game. And again, Dewsbury appealed to the referee for a high shot. Walker, Brambani now. Here's Cosgrove, just juggles with it, but that's enough time for Danny Morn to close in on him and make the tackle. Brambani, the sun has faded somewhat since the first half, but that ball is going to come up for Andy Smith, is it? No, it's not. It's come up for the Batley Bulldogs in the end. Retty, and it was in fact a knock-on from Dewsbury. It'll be the turnover.
Well, Retty was going up for that ball, but that ball was swirling everywhere. You see, there's the knock-on. Austin Buchanan couldn't tear that ball in, but it's Andy Smith who loses the ball going forward.
They're still competing, Dewsbury Rams. Still competing.
Well, they need to be
putting the underdog in this situation, Tez.
They need to be putting the attacking kicks up like that from Brambani.
Cosgrove battling for that ball for a moment. I think he was tempted for a one-on-one steal, but then Josh Tonks joined in to put Dane Manning to ground, and that's not standing square.
Well, that's a simple penalty Cosgrove gives away here. It's just about communication at marker. Cosgrove, Chris Lyth spotted that. That was good play from the hooker from Batley. You could see that Cosgrove wasn't set.
Hanforth from the resultant penalty. Batley come forward again with Dane Manning, the super sub, with that try on his arrival on the pitch. Hanforth, Byron Smith, Welsh international, tackle about 5 metres out. Here goes Alex Brown, and Brown trying to bulldoze his way to the try line for the Bulldogs, but he's stopped just short of that line. Again, good defence from the Rams, but can they hold out here? Hanforth back on the inside. Lindsay looking for a gap, trying to burrow his way under. If that doesn't work, maybe he'll win a penalty. Here's Hanforth. Hanforth stepping back inside. Again, he's tackled just short. That'll be the turnover. Again, good defence from the Rams. Rob Spicer once more involved.
Heroic defence from Dewsbury. Tiger Hanforth, Paul Hanforth with the ball in his hands 5 times out of that set of 6. Pulling all the strings, looking for an inside defender. Maybe cops one a little bit high, keeps going. But Dewsbury, with the game still in the balance, fighting tooth and nail for everything.
It's Dewsbury 14, Batley 18. Coming up to the hour mark here at the Tetley Stadium. Off goes Luke Blake. And that's the 5th tackle. It's a good set, this, defensively from Batley.
Dewsbury bringing the ball away. Their outside backs have done a fantastic job because they've come in, they've took the ball forward, they've tried to win the ruck, and now what they're saying to the forwards is, we've done all the hard work with the ball, you control this next defensive set of 6.
Campbell has got away though. Campbell is signalling where he wants Danny Morn. The Dewsbury defence is coming back, and it's Cosgrove who comes back to make the tackle. An outstanding performance this has been from Elliot Cosgrove. On a losing side at the moment.
Well, what an effort again from Cosgrove. He was saying to Wainwright, you go out, you take Brown, I've got the centre.
But here comes Danny Morn once more. Brambani makes the tackle. Lyth, Hanforth, here's Ian Priest. Priest, short ball. Oh, Jason Walton runs into some solid Dewsbury defence there. The Rams supporters thinking that ball was forward. Referee says play on. Lindsay looking for some support. The ball is batted down, and it's a penalty.
Oh, he's done him for markers not being square. Ash Lindsay pops out. There's a knock on there from Batley, but it was the tackle before that. Will Batley go for 2? I'm not sure whether I'd have kept the pressure on. Carl Harrison sending the message out. Oh, he looks furious, doesn't he? I shared a room.
I'd love to have heard that team talk.
I shared a room with Carl Harrison in 1994. We were Great Britain partners, and as we see the incident again, here's where the markers aren't square. It's a little bit harsh, that. Carl Harrison, I shared a room with him. He snores like a freight train. So I can only imagine what comes out of his mouth when he means to shout and bawl.
Hanford then to extend the Dogs' lead. That he does. Inching towards victory, are they, the Batley Bulldogs? Inching towards the top of the championship table. Maybe only briefly, but what an achievement that would be for the Bulldogs. But Warren Jowett's men aren't out of this one yet.
I'm sure 6 points in it. This game could still go either way. I've been very, very impressed with Dewsbury, with 12 men. The amount of times that they work that extra bit more for the teammate when they know that they're outflanked, and they still get back and cover the mistakes.
Priest underneath that restart. And here's Chris Lythe. Batley have made, in fact, their best start to a league campaign since Gary Thornton's days in 2004, when they won 5 of their opening 6 games. So win here tonight, top of the table, some achievement for one of the unfancied sides in the championship. Look who's below them in the table. Well, after tonight, everybody, if they win this. Here's Priest looking to duck through a gap, but he's tackled on the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. And Hanford hoists this one out towards Wainwright's wing. Brown closing in on him, but Wainwright takes that one, then he's lost it. It's been picked up by Morn, and I think he'll claim the try. He's awarded the try. And just like Dane Manning's score, Brambani, well, to Dewsbury feel hard done by there. It looked as though that ball just came out after Wainwright had collected it, and Danny Morn was there to collect the pieces.
Well, this was an attacking kick from Batley because they made 64 metres with the ball in hand, and look at the pressure from Brown. Wainwright does everything right, but Danny Morn, he was backing up his teammate, his centre partner, and there's the little fumble from Wainwright, and Morn wasn't waiting around. Simple try from this Batley side. All comes about from the pressure that Batley are putting on to this Dewsbury side. Good work, Danny Morn.
Hanford with 2 from 2 so far. Well, we said at the start of the game that Danny Morn was looking to celebrate the arrival of baby daughter Ava with a victory. And his try could have helped that, but that conversion attempt has missed. But Batley now lead 24-14, and the 12 men of Dewsbury really do have a mountain to climb now.
Well, that's 2 kicks that Dewsbury have failed to handle, both of them coming off Paul Hanford. And you're right, Tez, he does everything right, Michael Wainwright. The ferocity of the tackle from Alex Brown just dislodges the ball when he hits the floor.
Batley Bulldogs, Northern Rail Cup winners last year, and now, okay, it might only be for 24 hours because Lee Centurions play Barrow Raiders tomorrow, and Lee will fancy their chances of reclaiming top spot. But that is some achievement for a club that has been one of the fixtures of the championship, or the Northern Ford as it was before them, for some considerable time. Really managed to hold their ground, and now they could be making hay here. Manning taking him on. He did have support, but the man was taken out, I think. It was Campbell who was in support, and that ball has come up for Dewsbury. Now then, is the referee going to look kindly on them this time? They haven't had an awful lot of change from referee Roby. This time they get the call in their favour.
Oh, Dane Manning breaks the line. He has support, but there's a Dewsbury player in the way. Just look at the covering defender. It's Brambani, you're right, Bill. Just puts a shot, puts him on the floor, and watch this. Scott Turner has him in the clinch, tries to pop the ball up and pass it. And unfortunately for Dane Manning, the whistle had already gone. Dewsbury breathe again.
Frustrating night for the coach. Carl Harrison really does wear his heart on his sleeve on that touchline. Coaches probably the way he played. Wholeheartedly.
There'll be some doubt now in the Dewsbury players' mind. One score, yes, we can get back into this game. Yes, we can win the game. 2 scores, I'm not so sure.
And the clock against him now, really. That's a good run, though, from Keegan Hurst, but no, there was obstruction there, I think. Again, Dominic Brambani, as he has all evening, has questioned that decision, but referee Roby right on that one.
Was it Pat Walker that goes through? Keegan Hurst, he was going across, he was bouncing off the Batley defenders. Now things just aren't going for them. Even when they have the ball in hand, they're giving penalties away.
Here's Dane Manning. Well, it's been a real slog for Dewsbury without Anthony England since fairly on in the proceedings. And here comes Manning. Daly Williams flips the ball out, but it's gone into touch, and frustration from Batley because they're in the lead, but they're still not doing themselves justice, and maybe because they've still got Dewsbury right in their faces.
And Dewsbury are down, there is no doubt about that, but at no point are they out. And Warren Jowett, if he takes anything from this game, because I don't think he'll get the 2 points, if he takes anything from this game, it will be the character that Dewsbury have shown in bucket loads.
Virtually an hour of this match, Dewsbury have been down to 12 men, and they really have still stood toe-to-toe with this Batley side despite that. And Batley have had to work for the advantage they've got, and they're not home and dry yet. And the crowd sensing that, the crowd trying to lift this Dewsbury side to one last effort maybe.
Well, up until that point, Bill, that was a back set. All the backs coming in, relieving the big fellas. Keegan Hurst just playing the ball.
Brambani on the last, and that was the turnover. He couldn't get it away before he hit the ground.
That was great kick pressure. Brambani, an accomplished kicker. Chris Lythe, who's a tireless worker. He puts the pressure on Brambani. He can't get the ball away.
Well, Batley bouncing back well from their Northern Rail disappointment, going out as the holders to these very Dewsbury Rams. But this is revenge on the way for Carl Harrison's men. And an impressive back-to-back results it'll be, having beaten Widnes 32-12 at Mount Pleasant at the weekend, to come here just a few days later and beat Dewsbury. Well, that's good form from Rhino's side. Here's Hanforth, looping ball, finds Alex Bretherton. Bretherton stepping back in field. Cosgrove, as he has been all evening for Dewsbury, involved in the tackle, and so too is that man for the Batley Bulldogs. Alex Brown eventually finding the gap he's been looking for, and the space opened up for him for his 5th try of the campaign. And now it really is beginning to show on the faces of those Dewsbury players. The hurt is beginning to show on the face of Alex Brown, because he hit the ground with some force there as he hurled himself over the line. Brambani, meanwhile, and the Dewsbury team, hands on hips in the background.
Well, Brambani frustrated because he knows his side have worked tirelessly in defence in this game. You can see now the dejection on some of the players. But Alex Brown, he's so strong near the line. As soon as you leave a gap from dummy half, he is going to go, and he's just too quick. He gets low down here, and look at that. There's no way in the world Luke Blake can make the tackle. He was stood too wide. He goes round Keegan Hurst. There's a good read from the winger, Alex Brown, and that just shows the strength of the man.
And the Batley fans who've made the journey, saluting their side. and looking to salute another successful conversion from George Flanagan. Just his second game back, and he's in the points already, Flanagan. That one's between the uprights. And now Batley Bulldogs, 30 points to 14 leaders, heading for the top of the championship table tonight. Carl Harrison's men.
Well, it was a really smart read from that man. He targets the big players. Lockwood, Keegan Hurst, get in there. I wonder whether that's a fist of fury or a fist of joy.
Meanwhile, the restart from Brambani has gone right out on the full. Former Sheffield Eagle, just overcooking that one.
He's had a decent game, Tim Roby, the referee, but you can't help thinking what might have been if Anthony England would have still been on this game. They've had to defend with 12 men for 50 minutes, and it's been very, very hard, the amount of extra work that each Dewsbury player's got to have done.
I know that there's lots of people that say that we can't have brawling and fighting, but I think that the derby games aren't just another game. There's a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm. We see Batley again.
Daly Williams is just short of the try line. Just managing to get the ball away, and Retty trying to ricochet his way over, but Lockwood stood firm. Took 2 attempts, but he managed to stop the former York and Leeds Academy man, and they can stop Flanagan there. That is great defence from this Dewsbury Rams side there. Well adrift on the scoreboard now, but still showing great commitment.
And again, Scott Turney just clamped hold of that ball from Flanagan, prevented him from putting the ball down and scoring the try.
Craig Potter, I think, is in the middle of that and edging his way towards the try line. Flanagan, will he fancy his chances here? No. Again, fires the ball out for Hanford. Hanford's kick is fielded by Pat Walker, and Pat Walker goes to ground, but he's trapped in goal. It's a good kick from Hanford. Pat Walker, interestingly, sponsored by a church. Now, players tend to be sponsored by garages or chip shops, but Pat Walker is sponsored by a church.
Well, he's obviously got the big man on his side. Again, Hanford. They're so enthusiastic, both of these sides. And that's what you want in derby games. You want both sets of players to give 100% commitment, whether they've got the ball or whether they're defending.
The ball finds its way to Flanagan, but Flanagan loses it, and it's picked up by fullback Scott Turner.
There's a glorious offload around the corner, around the back of another player. Just watch this for skill. Flanagan with a loose carry. No thumb around the ball.
Austin Buchanan hounded down. Oh, and again, frustration, because he knows that they should be way ahead on this scoreboard. There's things that haven't come off for them, decisions that maybe were the wrong decisions made in pressure situations. So it's going to be a victory that I don't think is going to please the coach that much. He'll be delighted to go top of the table, but there's a lot more to see from this Batley side, you sense.
I agree, Bill. They've been made up with what they've created and the chances, and obviously in front on the scoreboard. But you can't take anything away from Dewsbury, I don't think. Dewsbury have forced Batley into making mistakes because of their urgency to defend.
Brambani on the last has given that one plenty of height. Is it going to stay in the field of play? No. Out on the full, and Retty judged that one to perfection, didn't go for it. Warren Jowett, well, there's a lot for him to admire in his side's performance. Campbell, just over the 40-metre line, in his own half, and his Wayne Retty. And Batley now sensing that they've seen off the Dewsbury Storm, the Dewsbury Defiance. 2-tilt, gets it away to Flanagan. Now here's Sean Hesketh. He's had a lively game as well, Hesketh.
Attracts a lot of attention when he's got the ball. He's a really powerful, strong runner. Paul Hanford will live off those quick play the balls. It's been a majestic performance from Paul Hanford.
Hanford stabs the kick in. Oh, and Flanagan was chasing that one. knocked on. The referee says it'll be a tap on the 20. Dewsbury still have a bonus point to go for.
They're still going, Bill. You have to admire them. The tenacity that they've played this game with. No excuses. I talked about it in the first half. Maybe Warren Jowett might have said to them, there's no excuses. Get out there and do your best. Everybody's come. Local derby. Everybody's come to support you. Give them a show.
Tonks, Cosgrove, Brown. Josh Tonks now in his Lockwood. Can Dewsbury at least get a bonus point? They certainly deserve something from this game, the effort that they've shown. Spicer, and Spicer has skipped away from the first, the second, could go all the way, Spicer, he's just short, I think.
He might be short, Bill.
Rob Spicer tried his utmost to get to the line, but referee Roby says, was he short, Ian Smith, video ref, please look.
Well, it looks short, yeah. It looks short when he grounds the ball, but then does his momentum take him over, and does he have control of the ball?
He touches the post pad. He touches the post pad first, I think. It's a tremendous run. You think how many minutes are on the clock. You think how hard they've had to battle to stay in this game. Rob Spicer still has a crack.
Is that a double movement, or is it momentum?
I don't think that's a double movement. I think that's momentum that just took him over.
It is a try. And what a reward that is for Rob Spicer. His second of the season is eminently kickable from Brambani. Have we got more drama to come in this game as Brambani kicks it? Dewsbury 20, Batley 30. Too much surely for the Rams to overhaul now, but they could have a bonus point in their pocket.
Well, not in Brambani's eyes. He wants to get on with this game as quick as he can. But if you keep working hard, you never know when you'll be rewarded. And look at the footwork from Spicer. And this is a big effort from the back rower to score that try. Well, if they don't win the game, Dewsbury are hoping that they've got the bonus point.
Now then, can the Rams at least make it uncomfortable for the Batley Bulldogs in the closing minutes here? The tackle from David Tutil, the try scorer in the first half for this Batley side. It's been a tough performance from this Batley side. You can see why they are up at the top of the table and challenging the big guns, this Batley side. Brambani, chip over the top, in behind Brown, but straight into the arms of Ian Priest.
Well, Dewsbury, they've got to switch on now in this defensive next set of 6. They've got to make sure that they work hard. They've got themselves back into the game, and they've earned themselves a bonus point to this point. Can they hold on?
Batley Bulldogs continuing this great start to the season then. Best start to a league campaign since 2004 from them. But that ball has been snapped up by Keegan Hurst.
A reckless offload. A reckless offload. Dave Tootle throwing the ball behind. But again, the eagerness that Dewsbury have shown, picking up the scraps. They want to go in again. Watch the offload. Turns and flops it back. They're still in it.
Lockwood. Well, another try now, as in now, or the next few seconds. Then there's time for some drama here. Cosgrove, outstanding performer from Cosgrove, but he's held up there, is he? He is. Just short. Well, he was over the line at one point, was Cosgrove. Here's Pat Walker. Desperate defence from Dane Manning. And Batley just clinging on at the moment here. Brambani's kick into the corner is too strong, and Austin Buchanan couldn't get there. And that is it, you feel.
You feel that Pat Walker had to pass that ball. There was an overlap on the left edge. All the Batley defenders were around the play ball, so they did have numbers.
Here's Campbell. Cosgrove all over him. Here's Brown, whose try has sewn this game up for the Batley Bulldogs. But they really have had to scrap against the 12 men of Dewsbury. Scrap being the operative word.
It's a shame on games like this, and I know we keep harping back to the derbies. Carl Harrison just can't afford to take breath at the minute, but it's a shame we have a loser on games like this. It's been a tremendous contest.
Bonus point is all that the Dewsbury Rams are going to get out of this one now as we are inside the last minute. That's the 5th tackle. And Hanforth, years of experience with a little chip kick over the top. And Buchanan there to field the ball for the Dewsbury Rams.
Oh,
who will stay outside the playoff places, and Hanforth has come up with that ball.
Well, he steals it. It's 1-on-1 against Austin Buchanan. This has been a full-blooded contest.
This has set the tone for what is going to be, what could be, a great weekend of derby matches. And there is the try that seals it. Flanagan it is. Back in the side after his 2-year ban. Back-to-back tries from the young half-back. And at last, a glimmer on the smile on the face of the Batley Bulldogs coach. And Flanagan has denied the Dewsbury Rams their bonus point with that, because surely the conversion will be taken as well.
Well, Buchanan is taking the ball away, but look at that extra effort.
Was Daly Williams involved there?
Well, look at that from Hanford. This is the try. There's George Flanagan. He goes over. He's happy. He's denied Dewsbury the bonus point. It's heartbreaking for Warren Jowett and his team. Well, Carl Harrison, he'll be made up, as is the Batley Bulldog.
Flanagan, 100% kicking records. And this to confirm the Batley Bulldogs' victory. And that is the final act of the game. It has been a dramatic derby match. And one apiece between these sides going into this game. So far this season, the Batley Bulldogs go 2-1 up against their arch rivals and near neighbours, the Dewsbury Rams. But Dewsbury down to 12 men from the 23rd minute of the game when Anthony England was sent off, have really made the Bulldogs battle for this victory. And as we've seen from coach Carl Harrison's reaction on several occasions, Batley maybe have made life harder for themselves at times, but they've come up with the goods, and especially their captain, the Irish international, Paul Hanforth, who's got man of the match, and he's with Rod.
Paul, well done, man of the match performance for your team. First of all, Batley top of the league in the championship.
It's nice, that, isn't it? I mean, it's one of us goals to stay up there. We've set a goals, different stages this Easter period, one goal, and we're trying to achieve that. If we do that, we know we're going to be in a good position.
Can you stay there?
Yeah, of course we can. I mean, we're down on numbers at the moment. We've got a lot of players to come back in, but we're digging together. We didn't play well tonight, and we can get a lot better, but end of the day, we've ground out a win, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, some people might say you made heavy weather of that, bearing in mind they only had 12 men for an hour of the game. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
it definitely is. I think we played quite dumb. I mean, I don't think my kicking game was nowhere near as good as what it should have been, and set myself standards that I didn't get up to them today, and the team do. And we're going to go away, we're going to train. We've got Sheffield Monday, big game, and try and put them things right.
You'll have to leave the champagne for a few days until after that, eh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well done, Paul, well played. Here's Carl Harrison. Carl just said to Paul, top of the league. Just sum up the performance, because I mean I've been stood next to you for most of the match, and you've been going through the mill there yourself. I think we could have put a camera in you all night and sold tickets to watch it.
Very, very frustrating. You know, we're a far better team than the performance tonight, but at the end of the day, it's a local derby. We were very nervous before the game. The last twice we've been here, we've been beaten, and comfortably. We got the result, that's what it's about.
How much of a difference to the result do you think the sending off made, Carl?
I don't think it made any, to be honest. I thought with the postage stamp pitch has got here, I don't think 12 men makes a difference, to be honest. Obviously, you know, Bonner's probably got his point on view of that, but they lost a front rower for 70 minutes of the game, which is a big blow, but it is pretty easy to defend on this field with it being so skinny.
How much of a difference do you think Batley winning that Northern Rail Cup has made to the club and the confidence and belief of these blokes that you're coaching?
Oh, we've got a really, really good squad this year, you know, as I think we've played 6 now, won 5, you know, sat up there, top of the league still tomorrow, and going okay with a busted squad. We've got a lot of, you know, starting players sat in the stands tonight with us, and things are looking pretty good at the moment.
Thanks for talking to us, Carl. Enjoy it. Top of the league, lovely.
Satisfying night in the end for the Batley Bulldogs. Victors by 36 points to 20. It looks an emphatic margin, Barry, but my word, in the second half, they certainly had to work for it. Let's just have a look at how that affects the table. And as we've said, Batley Bulldogs, well, they are best start to a season since 2004 season, top of the table. It might change tomorrow. Lee play the Barrow Raiders and could reclaim top